The Surgeon General issuing a stark warning about the dangers of health misinformation as COVID cases are on the rise. Dr. 𝗃𝘃𝗆𝘆 calling misinformation a serious threat to the public health and saying it's convincing Americans not to get vaccinated. They're believing it's myths in myths and about, they're believing in myths about the COVID vaccines. But will his warning reach the ears it needs to reach? That is the question. I want to bring in now Frank Luntz, a Republican pollster and communication strategist. Frank, thank you so much, and I'm glad you're here to talk about this. Let's talk about our misinformation nation that we're living in right now. Some elements of the right, and we know who they are. They're leading people to make life and death decisions not based on facts, but on party lines. So give me your take on this, and perhaps it should not be based in politics. What do you think?
Well, it shouldn't be. It can't be. If you want people who have not been vaccinated to get the vaccine, you have to give them credible evidence. You have to provide them accurate facts, which is not always happening here. You have to acknowledge their hesitations and concerns and respect them for it, and then remind them that it's not just themselves who they're making the decision for. It's their family, their friends, the people they come in contact with. The fact is, those people who are getting the Delta variant right now, fact is that virtually all of them have not been vaccinated. And so you're putting you, your family, your friends, and your community in jeopardy by refusing to do this. But we get it. We get why you don't want to do it. And we're just asking you, if the evidence and the facts are 51-49, please see it on the side of being careful, being cautious, and getting the vaccine, that's the right decision. So I'm telling people, don't shout at those who aren't vaccinated. Don't insult them. Empathize with them, and then try to provide that information in a calm, rational way to make a difference. We will all be better off if they make the right decision. And frankly, we're all going to be worse off if we got people who aren't protected.
So a couple of things here. So the whole idea about it not being, it shouldn't be political, but we know who made it political. Okay, fine. And continues to. So that is really the issue here, because I can sit here every night, or the White House, or, you know, the folks in our health experts can say, these are the facts, this is why you need to get it, everything you just said, Frank, and then you have someone who has a very big microphone telling people otherwise. So how do we do all those things? And quite frankly, if someone is putting my life at risk, my loved ones' lives at risk, my colleagues' lives at risk, don't you want to yell at them and say, hey, wake up?
I'll make it easy for you because of where I come from and the people that I support or have supported and worked for. I'll make it easy for you. Joe Biden should specifically ask Donald Trump publicly to join him in a PSA to come to the White House and be filmed saying, Mr. President Trump, you developed this vaccine in record pace, and you deserve credit for that, because we would not be able to vaccinate people if it wasn't for you, Donald Trump. And then he should say to Mr. Trump, tell your people right now, that you developed the vaccine, your administration, you know it's safe, you took it, your wife took it, your kids have taken it. Now it's time for the American people to take it. Now it's time for your people to take it. Actually, I would ask Joe Biden right now, not to call him out, but to call on him to do the greatest public service he could. Now, I get Trump's emails every day. And as I said, I'll make it easy for you. Every day they talk about the election being stolen. If he would just spend one day, just one day, asking his people to make the right decision, to read the evidence, to see the facts. This is not the government telling them what to do. This is not Washington, D.C. or some bureaucrat. This is only Donald Trump, the person they supported and voted for, who himself has taken the jab. I'm in London right now, so I'll use their language. And I did it, and I ask for you to consider doing it as well.
Okay, let me jump in here, because Joe Biden has done some of what you said. He has given the former president credit on a public stage, in a press conference, more than once, about developing the vaccine. Now, as far as the part about getting him to come to the White House and, film him or whatever, do you actually think Donald Trump would do that?
I don't. I actually don't. And that's the tragedy of it. But it would put pressure on him to, at Mar-a-Lago or wherever he happens to be, instead of highlighting anti-vaxxers, they'd be highlighting the fact that he got it. That's people need role models. And Don, you know this, and I think in the past you talked about it. The importance of role models in society, role models in politics, people who are on the right path, who do the right thing, and we point it out, we highlight it, because we spend so much time being critical, being negative, tearing people down. Instead, we need to build people up who are doing the right thing for the right reasons. And that is what you challenged President Trump to do. You challenge him to save the lives of his own voters, not because they have to, but because they want to. And that's key. If it looks like a mandate, requirement, then they won't do it. And the other group, because we're forgetting them, because it's easier to talk about the political group, is the young people, 18 to 29-year-olds who think that they won't get the vaccine.
And they're getting it. But they're becoming ill. They're becoming susceptible to COVID, and some of them are becoming young people as well. Sorry, go ahead, Frank. We have a delay. Go on.
And so that's what we need. We need those young people to know that they are as vulnerable as their parents are. And in fact, I'll say on your show for the first time, the group that I really want to get involved right now before the school starts to open up is AARP, because the strongest relationship, familial relationship, isn't husband-wife, isn't brother-sister or parent-child. It's grandparent-grandchildren, because, Don, they both have the same enemy. Let's get grandparents, call their grandkids right now and say, before you go to school, I want you to do your grandmother a favor. I'm going to ask you, I won't make you eat my tuna noodle casserole if you will agree to be vaccinated. And grandkids can't turn down their grandparents.
Yeah.
AARP has an important role to play. And the other group that we need to focus on are pharmacists, because there are a lot of people who know their pharmacist as well as their doctor. And the pharmacist getting involved, sending out a 60-second video to people who use them, that makes a difference. So Don, I'm trying to find solutions. And we got a project that's starting right now that will be advising anyone who's listening, including the current White House, because in reality, we know no partisan differences. So if I can provide information, language for the White House that they're willing to use, good for them, and it's the right thing to do. I
will tell you, I know exactly how this will go. I'm older than I look, only by like a year or so. Sleepy Joe couldn't get it done. He had to call me in to get people vaccinated because he couldn't do his job. So why would Joe Biden open himself up to that? And that is exactly the way that Fox Propaganda Network would cover it as well. I just think that we've reached the point we've gone. Listen, I agree with what you're saying. In a perfect world, that would be amazing. And I think that's how it should work. But I don't think that we're at that point right now. I think we're too far divided. It doesn't mean we shouldn't keep trying, but that's where we are. I got to run, though. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. I'll see you soon.